Hey traders, Jason here with Day Trading Fearless. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. Make sure you guys hit the like button and subscribe. And also make sure you check out the weekly trade zones for the S&P E-mini futures, and also my Patreon page to follow along with my Day Trading Fearless stock market profile trade alerts. Only $8 a month for that. But as always, let's jump right into it. This is a weekly watch list for October 18th, 2021. Sorry I missed you guys last week. I was traveling, really wasn't able to make a video and all that. So I do apologize, but we're back at full action this week. So let's take a look at the S&P E-mini futures. We actually had a nice little divergence down here. Okay, that kind of played out really nice. We've been making lower highs, lower lows, came to this lower trend line, and also this support level that I marked out, and also the low volume node. Kind of market came down, bounced. Okay, we have pullback, and now we're kind of the last couple of days, we've had massive market reversal overall. So remember, we still don't have excess up above, right? So if we zoom out, I've kind of said we'll probably see a pullback, but just keep an eye on this. I don't think we're done with this overall rally over the last year and a half, right? So with that being said, what does this coming week look for, or what's going to happen? Well, we could see we had a nice bull flag, right? Channel. We broke out. We are bullish. Okay, we're making higher lows. The thing I would watch for is either the backside of this trend line. Okay, and if we actually continue this trend line higher, we'll extend that to the right. By the time price actually gets there, we might be making new highs by then, right? So this is something to keep an eye on. Might take a few days, something like that. But I would look for a potential pullback to the 50 and also this trend line in the next couple days early in the week. But with that being said, just watch our reverse waterfall. Don't look for a short until we break below the previous candle's low. If that's the game that you kind of want to play, looking for. But if we do get back probably to this, we'll say 4,400, look for a potential long, because we are making higher highs, higher lows, and here is a nice trend line where we might actually see this, and this trend line all kind of converge together this week. So hopefully that helps you guys with the ESs, what to look for. But I'm probably looking for a potential pullback and then bounce to the upside this coming week in the ESs. Let's take a look at the NQ. NQ's kind of lagging, right? We're still, if you think about it, we're still in this channel, which is kind of interesting. Let's kind of bring this down here. This is what the channel looks like. Came down, bounced off this channel. We're coming up to the backside, but let's kind of erase all these. Let's actually get rid of this and this. And if we break below this trend line, which is the bigger channel, right? This massive channel, if we reverse from here and start to roll back over, I would actually be worried about that. But in the NQ, now there is a little discorrelation from the NQ in the ESs. Like I said, the ESs already broke out of the bull flag, while the NQ is at the top of the channel, which potentially could give it some resistance. So something to look at in the NQ. So kind of be careful there with that, but it still does have on the RSI room to run higher, but I'd want to see it probably start to move higher in that way. So before I really got bullish on it again. Let's take a look at crude oil. You guys know I've been very, very bullish the last few weeks and probably the last month or a couple months on crude oil. I said we might see $100 barrel, even 90, and look at this. We got as high as 82. Thing just keeps chugging along higher. This is probably what we're looking at right now. Let's draw this. Okay, maybe a quick short term pullback early this week. Maybe a pullback, but this is what I want to see in the ESs. Just so you guys know, when I talk about we don't have any excess, this is what would create the excess, right? All of this price action right here is what's creating this excess. And then if all of a sudden we see something like this in the ES and then the market sell off and maybe even break out of a channel to the downside, that is probably a secure high, but we have to wait for that. But let's see what happens with the oil. If the oil reverses and then just starts to sell off hard in the next week or two, that might be excess to the upside, but I don't think we're there yet. I think crude oil still has some upside with all of the inflation and stuff going on out there. Let's take a look at our Bitcoin. I thought we were actually going to go lower, but look at this massive turnaround rally all the way to the upside, almost right back up to the 63,000, right? 64,000 almost. Watch the all-time highs. If we extend this trend line, kind of perfect double top potentially. So we will see what happens, but I would just take this trend line. Okay. And actually, let's get rid of this for a second. And let's duplicate. Actually, let's draw this. Let's duplicate this trend line. I'm just trying to see what works best, but let's kind of look at this, and this is probably what we're playing with right now. We can also draw just a basic trend line like this, but if we reverse, this would be our first trend line and then our secondary trend line here. But Bitcoin definitely looks bullish with the ETF potentially coming out on the futures, but be careful with it because you have rolls. It doesn't trade clean, so because they're going to have to roll the future contracts, because from what I'm hearing, this Bitcoin ETF is based off of the rolls of the futures, so it's probably not going to trade the way you think it does, meaning Bitcoin could do a pattern like this, make a double top, but the ETF, the highs would be way down here because every month it loses money on the roll of the future contracts. So something to be careful with. Let's take a look at gold, kind of right up to this upper trend line, the 200, all this. Really nothing on gold, not seeing anything that I'd want to take long or short in gold. So probably no trade. Let's wait for that to kind of work itself out. Silver, look at this. We're just at the upper side of this trend line, right? If we were to redraw this, okay, we're just kind of right there at the upside of the trend line. It probably still has room up to the 200 to that 22. So keep an eye on silver. And then Apple, AAPL. Look at this, totally lagging the overall market. Potential head and shoulders forming. Let's erase all these lines. Interesting on Apple, right? Shoulder, head, shoulder. Okay, and this is what I like to call slanted head and shoulders, right? Because your neckline isn't straight across. Be very careful with this. If this does fall, I would grab a Fibonacci retracement, probably go from here to here, and then these would be the levels to the downside that you'd be watching. And look at how these all line up. This lines up with that breakout. This lines up with these lows, and this kind of lines up probably with this area, not so much, but that's what I'd be looking for. So if Apple rolls over, remember I said tech looked a little weak compared to what you call it, the overall S&P. So keep that in mind. And finally, Tesla. Let's take a look at Tesla. Nice breakout. Kind of, we made a high, sold off, bounced, and look at this trend just higher and higher. Potentially won't be surprised if we retest that 900 level coming up shortly in Tesla. So that's what I'm looking at for this coming week. Hope you guys enjoy it. And if you guys have any questions, anything like that, leave them down below in the comments. Let me know what you guys are looking at this week. It's always fun to see what's going on. So as always, thank you for watching. And till next time, we'll talk to you soon. Thank you.